All right, we're going to call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order on September 18, 2024. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Thibodeau?
Here.
Alderman Govea is here. Alderman Moran? Alderwoman Timmons? Alderman Clemmons?
Here.
Alderman Clee?
Here.
Mayor Donches?
Here. All right, we have public comment regarding any item on the agenda. Does any member of the public wish to address any of these items? All right, we will then move to communications. Alderman Govea.
From Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, in regard to FY25 snow plowing services in the amount not to exceed $30,000, funded from 54207 Snow Plowing Services / General Fund. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a FY25 contract for snow removal and salt and sand treatment for 18 city parking lots with the Dottie Group in the amount not to exceed $30,000. Funding will be through Department 166 Parking Fund 54207 Snowplow Services / General Fund.
Ms. Stansfield, I think, is here for this.
Hi, good evening. Jill Stansfield, Parking Manager. This is for this upcoming season's snow plowing services for our 18 municipal parking lots. The Doty Group is holding their pricing again for another year for us. So this is for the snow plowing of those parking lots. Do you have any questions?
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item, a communication from Amy Gerard. Alderman Govea.
In regard to parking access and revenue control system in the amount of $81,020, funded from 55699 other contracted services / parking trust fund. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of a gate system for the School Street Garage to include all hardware, installation, configuration, and 6 months of back office software charges with Kale America Incorporated, Flowbird, in the amount of $81,020. Funding will be through Department 166 Parking Fund 55699 other contracted services / parking trust fund.
Yes, go ahead.
Jill Stansfield, Parking Manager. This is going to be for our parking and access control system for the new School Street parking garage that we're hoping to be able to bring online by January 1st. This will be a gate system where folks will take a ticket, enter, park, and upon leaving, they will make a payment at an inside kiosk and leave. So.
All right. Anybody? Alderman Govea.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not so much about this, but is this a program you could potentially see move on to our other 2 parking garages?
That is exactly correct. We're hoping to, kind of, this is our trial run. It's our existing pay station company, so we're really fortunate in that they had this option. So that way our back office, all of that information is going to be under one back office. So, yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alderman Thibodeau.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had a constituent reach out and ask me, with this kind of a system, I don't know if in a municipal environment, if return on investment is the right terminology, but how long until this kind of a system pays for itself, makes a profit? So I guess it's a return on investment, but.
Yes, probably within about 6 months to a year, it will cover its cost.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to purchase of a Kubota tractor in the amount of $31,729.71, funded from 81500 vehicle / surf, I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of a Kubota Series BX2680V1 tractor to be used for building maintenance at the police department with MB Tractor and Equipment in the amount of $31,729.71. Funding will be through Department 150 Police Department Fund 81500 vehicle / surf.
Brian Soika, Fleet Supervisor, National Police. We're looking to purchase this Kubota tractor to replace our current tractor that we use for lawn care, snow blowing, maintenance of the property.
And what do you do with the old tractor?
We were planning on actually auctioning it off, with the city auctioning it off, because we were getting nothing for a trade for it.
Okay. Any, Alderman Clemmons?
Yeah, I don't know if it would be worthwhile for the police department to look at that and see if there's another need somewhere else in the city where that could be used maybe before you auction it, but I certainly support the motion in front of us.
Alderwoman Clee?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Part of the package that we received, it speaks to the city having spoke to trying to go electric and so on. And one of the items of this is not going electric, which I think it's absolutely perfect that we're not, because of the lack of ability to being able to get, and I'm just speaking to the public for this, and I had spoken prior to this, and our energy manager agrees with this, because we can't get the components to it. Is that correct? If we tried to go electric?
Yes.
For this. And this had been on the SURF schedule of getting something like this, and this is actually cheaper than what we had on the SURF schedule. Is that correct? By about $20,000?
I think you want to comment on that, Karen?
Do I have that proper, if I'm reading this correctly from the letters?
Karen Smith, Business Manager. Yes, we have an item on our surf schedule. It's a tent equipment for a SWAT vehicle, and we no longer have that vehicle.
Right.
So this is definitely less money than the funds that are budgeted on the surf schedule, and we'll be able to fund this purchase. Thank you.
Thank you. I just, for the listening public, I just wanted them to understand that, and why we're not going electric, and that we're actually using funds that we're going to for something else, and this actually saves money. So thank you so much.
All right, any other questions, discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to software subscription for Magnet Forensics in the amount not to exceed $51,862.20, funded from 55620 software subscription services / general fund in forensic and forfeiture funds. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase and renewal contract for software subscription used to extract data from locked mobile devices, provides access to computers, cloud services, and vehicles, and the examination of surveillance footage for forensic investigations with Magnet Forensics LLC in the amount not to exceed $51,862.20. Funding will be through Department 150 Police Department Fund 55620 Software Subscription / General Fund 20,000, and 55620 software subscription / forfeiture fund 31,862.
Michael Caucasian, National Police Department. I'm a detective within the computer forensic unit. Magnet Forensic is a digital forensic software company that provides us with several different softwares. As stated, it can collect data from cell phones, computers, surveillance system. It actually helps us bypass passwords and decrypt or encrypt data. It also allows us to recover deleted files from video surveillance systems or even mobile devices. This would be a renewal of software that we've been using.
Anyone? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Cool. Thank you.
Very much. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to professional consulting services in the amount not to exceed $75,000, funded from 54236 Security Services, I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a contract for professional insurance brokerage and consulting services for the Property and Casualty Program with USI Insurance Services LLC in the amount not to exceed $75,000. Funding will be through Department 128 Risk Management Fund 54236 Security Services.
Jennifer Deshays, Risk Management. I just want to first point out that the funding source that's noted on your packet's incorrect. It should be 53142, which is consulting services, not security services. USI Insurance Services has been providing brokerage and consulting services to our property and casualty program since 2018. They've held their pricing at a flat rate of $75,000 since 2018. This contract is a single-year professional service contract with a not-to-exceed cost of services of $75,000, which is the same as the expiring fee.
And you, it should be 53142 consulting services, right?
Correct.
And does the maker of the motion agree to that amendment?
I do. So moved.
All right. I don't think we need to move it if the maker changes it. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to Stanley Elevator Master Service Agreement in the amount not to exceed $243,499, funded from 54267 Elevator Boiler Maintenance / General Fund. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a multi-year contract for scheduled maintenance for both city and school district elevators with Stanley Elevator Company Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $243,499. Year 1, $73,346. Year 2, $83,513. Year 3, $86,640. Funding will be through Department 128 Risk Management, Fund 54267 Elevator / Boiler Maintenance / General Fund.
Jennifer Deshays, Risk Management. The Stanley Elevator Company has been providing elevator maintenance, repair, installation, modernization of our elevators for over 50 years to both city and school elevators. They're a local company. They're able to provide us with quick response to emergency elevator issues. The 3 mechanics that we have assigned to our account are all local. This is a 3-year maintenance agreement, as noted, totaling $243,499. Despite industry increases, Stanley Elevators proposed an increase just below 4% for each of the next 3 years.
Anyone? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to contract for engineering services in the amount of $29,300, funded from gas heater relocation / bond. I'm gonna make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve an engineering services contract with Sanborn Head and Associates to provide construction quality assurance oversight for the 2024 landfill gas system header modification work in the amount of $29,300. Funding will be through Department 168 Solid Waste Fund gas heater relocation / bond.
Mr. LaFleur is on Zoom, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go
Jeff
ahead.
LaFleur, Superintendent. Yep, Jeff LaFleur, Superintendent of Solid Waste. Just as it's stated, it's a contract or an approval for engineering services for the header relocation. That'll be the next motion that'll be coming up. We have to move the header from the main haul road into the landfill because that's where the new Phase 4 construction will be being built. So this will be the engineering part of the services.
All right, anybody questions? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to Four Hills landfill gas heater relocation construction services in the amount not to exceed $728,875, funded from gas heater relocation / bond. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a contract with SCS Field Services of Reston, Virginia, pending bond approval to construct a new landfill gas vacuum header / main to serve the Phase 1, 2, and 3 landfills in the amount not to exceed $728,875. Funding will be through Department 168 Solid Waste Fund gas heater relocation / bond.
Jeff
Mr.
LaFleur, Superintendent of Solid Waste. Yes, sir. This is just exactly what I just spoke about. It's the header that runs down the main haul road. We're constructing Phase 4, hopefully within the next year. this header needs to be moved out of the way so it doesn't get destroyed as Phase 4 construction is being built.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yeah, I just have a question on the bond for this. Is that legislation been brought forward yet or at the board?
Yes, sir. This and for the next one, the flare has all been brought forward already.
Right, it's in committee though. It hasn't passed yet, right?
Right, that's why I said,
Okay,
I
yeah,
believe
yeah.
it says pending
Okay.
bond approval.
Thank you.
I think the Finance Committee has it on Thursday. Or
Budget.
tomorrow.
Budget,
The
budget.
excuse
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
The Budget
Yes.
Committee has it tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, any further discussion? So I assume the motion is contingent upon approval of the funding, right?
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to Fort Hill landfill blower/flare replacement construction services in the amount of $900,180, funded from landfill gas system expansion/bond. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a contract with SCS Field Services of Reston, Virginia, to install, construct, and provide initial operation training for replacement landfill gas blower and flare system in the amount of $900,180. Funding will be through Department 168 Solid Waste Fund Landfill Gas Systems Expansion/bond.
Anybody? All those in favor of the motion say, oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Mr. LaFleur, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I need to make an amendment to that. The funding is incorrect. It's not from the landfill gas system expansion. This should be from the flare repair/replacement. It's still a bond. It's still bond approval, but it has to be the flare repair/replacement fund.
All right,
And then
so-
if you'd like me to go into what it is, the flare at our landfill is over 30 years old and is in dire need of replacement. It's the main piece of equipment that keeps us in permit requirements from the state. If this flare goes down, we cannot destroy all gases coming out of the landfill for any reason. If the engine or anything, we must destroy all gas. So this new flare system will be state of the art, and it would suffice for DES's permit requirements.
All right, so it should be the flare repair replacement fund.
Yes, sir.
And will the maker of the motion agree to that amendment?
Yes.
All right, with that amendment, is there any discussion? Alderman Clemmons.
No, I just want to say that I appreciate these coming to us contingent upon, obviously, the bonds being passed, because this is the kind of, basically, like, what I'm trying to say is I'm glad that these contracts will be able to go once the Board of Aldermen approves the bonding, as opposed to, waiting for the bond to come and then having a lag period of time and then having to go back and do this. This saves time and money. So I just wanted to say I really appreciate that. So, thank you.
All right, anyone else?
Thank you.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Unfinished business, none. Tabled in committee, none. New business, resolutions and ordinances, there aren't any. Record of expenditures, Alderman Govea.
I move that the Finance Committee is compiled with the city chart and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period of August 30, 2024 to September 12, 2024.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. General discussion, does anybody have any discussion items? All right, public comment. Any member of the public wish to address the Finance Committee?
Lori Ortolano, 41 Berkeley Street. I'm here to ask members of the Finance Committee for assistance in trying to find out what happened to money that was being redistributed back to us regarding our rent payments to the Art Center. When we did the deal in 2023, John Griffin presented a diagram to the Budget Review Committee showing money we were paying, 500,000 approximately, and coming back to us, they were going to redistribute back to us about 413,000 because they were paying basically for the interest. And he presented that to the Budget Review Committee in 23 and 24, and the mayor in the Budget Committee on June 17th, this was addressed by a citizen who said, why are we paying this rent? And he said, pretty much it's all coming back to us and it's a net zero. Well, when you pull the expenditure and the revenue report and you look at what we paid, there's nothing that's been returned. I talked to Attorney Foster about this, who's representing MPAC Corp. In the 201s, and he recognized that the money isn't coming back, and he was going to try to figure out what was going on because he felt it was reasonable for the public to understand that. But I'd like our government from our city side to help us understand that, because I feel like I constantly hit a wall with the city not being honest and truthful about what is happening with our money. And you ought to be able to find it and figure it out, but you can't. No matter what you do, it doesn't make sense. And, you know, the other thing is, this reimbursement, there was no signed contract between MPAC, the private company, and the city. We have a rental master tenant agreement that shows the rent, but there's nothing in writing that shows what the distribution would be back. So this is all on a handshake, and it appears they're keeping all the money. So what is that about? Are there additional costs to this art center that they have to pay for? Is it being stored somewhere? Is it being used in a nefarious way? We don't have any way to account for it. So I'm asking you to try to help me figure out why we're not getting any reimbursements back on that money. And I also today got a response to a right to know request from the city attorney Leonard regarding the bond proceeds and the reimbursement for the building. When we got the $21 million
30
and
seconds.
we shipped it all to MPAC, we didn't follow the bond language to pay us back for the cost of buying Alex Shoe Store or the construction costs. It did not come out of the bond money. How is it we can do that with a bond language? How is that proper? I'll address this at the next public bond hearing. Thank you.
I mean, no one should accept any of that as accurate. The $2 million was part of the 21, and I'm sure the rent, the money, in the amount indicated, the money is coming back. But all right, any remarks by Alderman? If not, Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'd like to call for adjournment.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the meeting of the Finance Committee is adjourned at 7:23 PM.